Welcome back to a little update video. As always, I'm using the Fractal theory explanation video. For that I will link at the end of the video. Okay, well, let's jump into AMC. And as always, if you're interested in the full Fractal thing, if you're interested in if it's a one part or a two part squeeze, my opinion about that, if you're interested in my price targets, no financial advice, I will, or how the whole thing looks like, I will link the big roadmap video at the end of the video. Today we just look at what we have done today. So let's zoom in. So, and one last point before we go into the micro tracking in here, just saying, this little fight I had with one of my oldest viewers who was really upset that I said on Sunday I want my higher low pullback, which we perfectly did. He called me, I have no clue, I am a drama clown, and the worst thing is he said me besides Pantano. That this really hurts. That's why there's no going back after this. Everything else okay, emotional damage, because well, it's very full of stress, the AMC movement right now. But to comparing me with Pantano, okay, there's no going back with this. But because we got our move I wanted, because he said in his tweet, also very interesting that I get these pictures of his people, that everyone who is thinking and saying that we're going under 188 doesn't have a clue and is a clown. So because we did that today, I would say we re-inverse this trade. Okay, so everyone who said it's not possible to go under 188 has no clue, is a clown, and is worse than Pantano, I would say. But to end this here, okay, I won the first battle, I won the second battle, and I think with this move today, I won the war, I would say. So it was fun. I salute you. But you're finished. Okay, now we delete the shit. So for the tracking today, we start with the micro tracking and then we zoom out for what could happen possible in the next moves. So I said in the last video, for picture perfect tracking, this was just the higher low. We will show which higher low in a second. And for this, we have to go under V under A. That means under 182. What did we do today? At the beginning, we knifed down. And where to? To 181. Picture perfect. The alternative to this was we just going sideways. Just to say that, this was picture perfect. And not only that, the main thing is also, look what we have done after that. First of all, it's not a double bottom. It's just a clear knife down, one candle, and an instant V. But not only that, the rest of the day, we did a micro higher low. Also, V under A. And also, it was V under A. V under A. Perfect. So, we finished everything. With this, I really have to say we finished everything. So, are we squeezing tomorrow? First, the bearish alternatives. Can it be that the low is not in yet? And to make that absolutely clear, can it be that this is just T? Could be. Sadly, sorry, I have to say that. If we going down here, this is still okay. Because we still can go lower than this. Something in this range here. If we have to do that. The only thing which is not allowed, it's the same like in the last videos. We are not allowed to touch or break 172. If we do that, That's really bad. And because I already got the question, I think a few days ago, okay, so if we're doing this bearish alternative, then we only go to $8 or $9. No. If we break down from here, this peak here, June 22nd, was most likely the peak for 2026. To make that absolutely clear. Breaking downside here, breaking 172 here is, for me personally, I can be wrong, but for me personally, it's over for 2026. That would be already lower high. Yeah, not good. I don't think that. Yeah, but we always have to have an alternative. Yeah? So otherwise, we are a clown. You know. Yeah. Good. Next thing I said in the last video, we are not allowed to break $3.04. Yeah. Not anymore. Yeah, because we finished our higher low. Yeah, so we can go up now and break $3.04. Yeah, or just squeeze. To make that absolutely clear, we finished for the bullish tracking everything. It really can be next week. It really can be even tomorrow, because Friday, Mondays is for AMC and GME always the time for big moves. Now it's I know tomorrow or when you watch it, it's Thursday, but on Friday is no stock market. So I don't know if you can say that Thursday is now the new Friday, but yeah, maybe. The thing is, do I think that? And now comes the problem. Yeah. First of all, we will look what have we done in 2021 and 2024 in the zoomed out version. And then we look at GameStop. Yeah. We start with the zoomed out version. So for explanation, yeah, left side, right side, AMC, both, of course, both on 1 hour chart, both with after hours on. Right side is January the 5th to January 22nd. Left side is March 2026 till today. And we have two bullish versions. Yeah. First bullish version is that we are in January 22nd, the 20th, January 20th. The other bullish version is that this whole thing is just January 13th. In that case, this here would be January 13th. Yeah. This version will take longer, but it would still be bullish. The only problem I have here is I was looking for this higher low in both cases. In both cases. My only problem right now is this took 2 days. This, also the January 13 to January 15. The January 20 to January 22 also took 2 days. Yeah. But we are bigger now. We are slower and bigger. And from the V in 2021 to the low of A, it took us 8 days. Right now, if this whole thing is A, it took us 89 days, 10x. And if we say, okay, we are not here, we are in January 20th, from the bottom of A to the low of B, it took us 7 days back then. And right now, it took us 38 days. What I want to say with that, I find it very, very difficult to think that this or this, yeah, so this, the comparisons, yeah, took, with the higher lows, took 2 days to finish the higher lows and squeeze. And right now we're finishing this in 1 day. Yeah. The start took 10x time compared to 2021. But the higher low is now finished in 1 day. Could be. I'm not ruling that out. I'm just not tending to that. Yeah. Also, when we talk about GME, there's another thing. So I really would tend to, whatever we do, it looks absolutely perfect that the V is in. that we're not coming. I mean, we don't allow it to come lower than 127. But I would say the whole next week, we're doing something like this. Yeah, just this. Nothing more. Yeah. I'm absolutely easily wrong when we break 3 or 4. Then this version is that. It's pretty simple. Otherwise, I would say there's, for me personally, an 80% chance we are not going next week and we do this. Sadly. Yeah. And the only question is, if you're breaking up, doesn't matter if you're doing this next week or in 1 or 2 weeks, are we here or are we already here? That's the only question. Yeah. Because, well, this most likely will depends on volume. Yeah. But if we have to do this, I would say this will take us to August, September. Yeah. If we really have to do this. Yeah. I mean, you only have to imagine this 80 days, this 8 days. So if we say we are here, let's say we are here, this is 9 days, so we would add another 90 days. Yeah, I mean, you can't take that one-to-one. Yeah. But yeah, it would be longer. Also, one last thing. Nothing says, even if we are here, this whole thing is this. This is a breaking point. Yeah, this is a breaking point. With a lot of volume, we can jump this. But if not, we know what landmarks we have. Yeah. Also, to make that absolutely clear, even when I quite often perfectly can tell when and where to we do a pullback, even as a clown. When I can tell you, okay, we need this higher low, and we get that, I can't forecast things. Wrong word. I can't see into the futures. I need landmarks. I need price action. Yeah. If we're just doing this, I can't track. I can look in the past if we did that already, but I need price action. Yeah. And I need confirmation. For the conclusion for AMC looks absolutely fucking perfect. Yeah. Doesn't matter if we are now January 13 or January 20. Yeah. At 20th. Doesn't matter. It still looks perfect. Of course, if you have options, it matters. Yeah. But you have to look at one last thing. No financial advice. Let's say we really are in January 13. Yeah. I mean, okay, if you have July's, yeah, it could get fucking close, if maybe not. Yeah. But if you have August, let's say we are in January 13. I would still say we get the peak till August from B. If we're not just squeezing from here, we should still get the peak of B. And to make that also absolutely clear, this B should be around $7 to $9. And the max strike is 6 or 7 right now for AMC. So even if we are slower, you can still make money with these. Yeah. And then we will get a pullback. If we are here, we still get a pullback. And then you just wait for the pullback again. Yeah. We will still track it. And then you just get new ones. January's, for example. Yeah. Or this is all just blah, blah. And we squeezing. Next week, end of July, whatever. Yeah. But AMC looks fire. Okay. Then let's jump into GME. Here also, if you want the whole tracking, if you want to know how the Fractal looks like, my personal price targets without financial advice, and so on, I will link again the big roadmap video at the end of the video. Today, we just look what we have done. So let's zoom in. Okay, and for GME, we have 2 bullish versions. Yeah, we start with the one I like more. I will come to that after that. Why? So in that way, we just look at the section May 1st to today. Yeah, this was the eBay news, our peak. Then we had the Kitty news, May 11, M. In that case, June 3rd was our T, and we made a lower low here, a tiny one, but doesn't matter. This was a V. So that means T was started here, T finished here, and then we did a micro high low. In that case, everything is finished for this. And if we then micro track this, just the T, yeah, we only micro track this here, yeah. Then we have our C, our lower high, our midpoint, no, sorry. Here's our lower high. Our M started here. Our M finished here. This was our little T. T finished here. And then we drop to our V. The point there where, I don't know how much this was, a few cents lower. Then we made our micro higher low. Also, I zoom in, yeah, perfect. And then we got this little outbreak here, yeah. The thing is, as I said already in the other videos, I would like that if it just went over 24, but okay, we didn't. But we could easily say that this here is our little A. Perfect 0.5, 0.618 pullback, bounce. For this version, it is absolutely, really, absolutely necessary that we fucking go here. It doesn't matter if we're doing it slow, yeah. I mean, I would like to have it quick, yeah, but there are two ways. We're just going, yeah. About the target, we'll talk in a second. If we're doing it slow, yeah, this here is our T. That would mean we were going to go up, A, pullback, B, and so on. Yeah. If you're doing it quick, upside. Yeah. Before we look at what price levels we would have, an absolutely no-go is to reject here. If we go lower, and I would even say if you break 2171, we go into the bearish version. But this in a second. Yeah. If we go up, what would that be? If we go up, this would be our A, our middle A, the A of the squeeze already. Yeah. There is even proof from the past. We will look at that also. This A would have a price target, something under 37, no financial advice, just the opinion of a stupid clown, you know, and over 28, yeah, something in this range. Then one last pullback, and with the ending of this pullback, AMC would be also pre-finished, squeeze ready for both of them. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Now, okay, we will look at that in a second. So for this, going up from here, no big pullbacks. If we're doing pullbacks, version number 2, it's still a bullish version, but version number 2. In that case, nothing really changes from here. The only thing which is changing is that you go lower here. My confirmation target for this version is 2170 because this would be too low. And this whole thing is just our last higher low, small higher low. In that case, you would come lower. You would come to 2129. Same as AMC. What AMC did. Oh, I'm losing my language. Did today. Yeah. Only problem why I don't like that, it wouldn't just knife down there, in my opinion. You would have here a peak. This would be a lower high, and you already see that it's a big higher low. Yeah. So you would come down, come up, M down, come up, T, and then you would drop and do your V. This will take time. Most likely 2 to 3 weeks. That would be shit. Yeah. If we're still looking for synchronization between AMC and GME and cause, as long as GME is not finished, AMC is not moving. Yeah. That's why I like this one better. The only real bearish alternative is if this becomes T. Yeah. In that case, you still have to go to 2040. Yeah. That means the confirmation for this is breaking under 2087. Exactly. Yeah. And of course, the absolutely deaf version is if you break 1961, look it up in the roadmap video, but then your target is till end of the year 13 and AMC under 50 cents. Yeah, because in that case, I don't see AMC going. I am okay with that GME is doing nothing, whatever, and AMC is squeezing. Okay, fine. Yeah, then GME really takes more time. Fine. If, in my opinion, personally, if GME is breaking 1961, all memes, also cause and AMC will also go down. Yeah, my opinion. Okay, now why I want to have this version. Because of the comparison AMC and GME since 2021. Yeah, 4-hour chart on both, left side GameStop, right side AMC, both in January. Yeah, and if you look at that, I try to show that in the easiest way possible. This move would be the comparison to the A move, which I'm looking for. So the move to 34 over 28 would be this move. Look what AMC did back then. In the moment GME was doing this move, AMC was doing its higher low part, Jan 13 to Jan 15. The same point where we could be right now. Yeah. And in the moment, GME was finished with a slightly uptrend and sideways swing. Also, AMC was ready to squeeze. Also, because I read this absolutely bullshit that AMC and GME, that they never ran together. Yeah. I don't know what chart people are using, but, and I posted it already on Twitter. It's fucking bullshit. Maybe the people are too stupid or they just lie because otherwise the tracking is not working. When AMC did its 2021 squeeze here, January 2021, look what GameStop did. It's the same day. Of course, they didn't run together. No, there's no correlation. They didn't run together. Not possible. Yeah. The only thing is, in the moment AMC was doing its second part of the squeeze, yeah, June 2021, GME was already in the downtrend. Okay. Yeah. But then we just go into May 2024 here, May 2024, and then we look what AMC did, May 2024. Yeah, do you see it? They didn't go together. No. Sometimes, really, I would advise you in this way, really. If someone is saying and is showing you something, open TradingView, check it. Because if someone is telling you that AMC and GME since 2021 never squeezed together, and I'm talking about the squeeze in 2021 January, I'm talking about the squeeze in May 2024, and also I'm talking about this little squeeze, this one, in May 2025. Yeah, yeah. Also, yeah, May 2025. AMC ran up, what is that? 60%. Here, May 2025. GME ran up 84%. It was the smaller squeeze. But if anybody is telling you, no, they never ran, I already proved that in the video, this guy is full of shit. If someone is telling you that this guy is full of shit, just you see it. It's not true. But because of the A move again, I think 2024 May is the perfect example for that. This would be, again, for GME, the move to our A, the move to 34 over 28. Look what AMC did back then. In the moment GME ran up and doing this little pullback and this sideways shit, AMC did its higher low. Yeah. I don't like to compare now to May 2024. Yeah? I like more January 2021, but it's the same fucking thing. Yeah. During AMC is doing its higher low section after the pullback, GME should do its run. The only problem right now and always was for me that GME was doing shit right now. Yeah. So there are only two ways. GME just took its time, is way slower, yeah, and is starting now, because now would be the time. AMC is in its higher low section. Now would be the time for GME to do its A. If we do that, I would even say 99% we see something fantastic, because this would be for me the absolutely confirmation that we really repeating 2021, 2024. This would be absolutely fucking great. Yeah. If GME is not doing it, I don't know. As I always said in the videos, I could be wrong on GME. I don't like the fractal. I don't care about the company. Yeah. Also on AMC, I don't care about the company. Only about the fractal. Yeah. But if GME is not doing that, maybe I'm wrong on GME. Maybe I'm tracking it wrong. Yeah. I'm only a human. Could be. Yeah. Maybe the synchronization is over. Yeah. We had it 2021, 4 and 5. Maybe in 2026 it's different. Could be. There is no proof for or other against it for 2026. There is proof that they were synced in 2021, 4 and 5. That's fact. You saw it right now. Yeah? If it's still synced in 2026, only this move could tell us that. Yeah? But for the conclusion, again, AMC looks absolutely fire. Doesn't matter if I track it with GME or alone, it looks fire. Cause looks fire. Yeah, I mean, cause always is just the turtle of these three because it's so fucking slow. And GME may be starting looking good. Yeah, right now I would even say GME alone still looks like shit. Yeah, if we just start going tomorrow into next week, perfect, absolutely perfect. Yeah, but also, if cause and AMC looks fucking great and only GME is looking shit, I have to imagine that it is because of me, because I miss something. Yeah. If two of the three main memes are standing shortly or showing that they are probably very close before of a squeeze, and only one isn't, I would say the biggest probability is that I am just wrong on GME. Yeah. Just one thing still. If GME is doing this and doing its pullback like 2021 and 4, that's one of the reasons why and there's still think I can hardly say I see a big chance for next week for AMC to squeeze, because I showed you that. Yeah. If GME is doing that, I think AMC will stay in this range till the moment GME is finished with this little run. The only thing which can confirm that is price action. Not shitty EMAs, not the 200, not any other indicator. Only price action will give you the answer. Okay. I hope I didn't forget anything. Okay. Next one, BYND. So for BYND also, for the big update video for price targets and time and how the fractal is looks like, and especially to make it absolutely clear for the worst bearish alternative, which is still there. We are not out of the danger zone yet. I will link the big roadmap video at the end. One thing before we go into micro tracking here, because I want to make that absolutely clear with all this forced tracking which is going around the internet. Yeah, because I also read that BYND is synchronized with AMC. Yeah, we just look it up. Okay, the all-time high for BYND this year. I'm talking July 2019. What did AMC do? You see it here on the chart. AMC was on its way to its all-time low. Not synced. Then we did a lower high in January 2021. This little thing here, this lower high, was the first part squeeze from AMC. Okay. But this was just a little thing for BYND, and the all-time high, the C landmark, was already 2 years before that. Yeah, I'm not saying that we now have to wait 2 years for AMC, but no synchronization. Then we look, what did BYND do in the all-time high for AMC? It was in its pullback. No synchronization. Then we look, what did BYND do on May 2024 when AMC and GME did this the second biggest squeeze. Yeah, also not so much big as 2021, but it was still a big squeeze. If you look, BYND just did this little thing. This was the lower high of T. Yeah. Then we look, what did AMC do in the October peak, in the higher low peak of BYND? AMC was on the way to its new all-time low. So to say that BYND is synchronized with AMC, except one time with this lower high, no, also bullshit. It's just not true. Look it up yourself. Yeah, I think BYND looks also good. Yeah, we'll look into that in a second. But BYND is doing its own thing. It doesn't need AMC for it. So let's go into the micro tracking. And yo, the thing is, nothing changed. Yeah, I say it again. I need price action. Yeah, and that's why I already made in the last video this: the heaven store, the no man's land, and the death area, because really this is just bullshit right now. We can micro track it, yeah, but you will get crazy. And because we are so tiny here in micro tracking, the margin of error is so fucking high to get a landmark wrong, and it doesn't really help. Yeah? So again, as long as we are in no man's land, we are in no man's land. Yeah, nothing is changing. We got on Tuesday, yeah, we got a little hopium that we already were in heaven store in, because I said if we are in heaven store, we finally can track bullish, yeah. But we only peeked into it. We didn't stay in it, yeah. And of course, if we go to the death area, 57 cents, and this thing is done, yeah. It will go to all-time lows, reverse split, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Before we go into tracking, I say it again, still, I will do that after that. For tracking, it still looks okay. Perfect. Yeah. This is our small T. This here is our micro tracking. On Friday last week, we knifed. Yeah. It was a brutal knife. It was not a double bottom. It was a knife and a V. Perfect V out of it. And after that, we broke out. So what could this be? Yeah, I would say if we micro track this thing, this was small a. Yeah, in that case, I would say, yeah, there's a possibility we still have to go lower on BYND. My targets would be around the 0.5 and the 0.618. So 72 to 70-ish. Yeah, something like that. In the best way already tomorrow. Yeah. And then just bounce. Or we already bounce here. I'm also okay, fine with that. But what is fucking important? It's the same thing like always. I'm still bearish on BYND. Yeah, since we broke here the 786, I am bearish on BYND. But I still have my position. And I said, only because we are so low, I am bearish on BYND. I get bullish on BYND in the moment we're going over 84 cents. If we're going over 84 cents, and even if it's only a peak, yeah, even if it's only a peak and then we're doing this pullback, don't care. If we're going over 84, this is no financial advice, bullish, yeah. Because I heard, yeah, first because yeah, I'm a clown, you know, yeah. I heard that I was saying since months that BYND is going up, and I am always wrong. Look it up. Look the last videos up, the last 10, 15, 20 videos on BYND. My main target was since months, always, our peak will be July, August. Yeah. What peak? Yeah, we will talk in that in a second. But as long as we are not over August, it's just a lie. Sorry. And every one of you can look it up. Yeah. Or July, August was always my level. We have two ways to go there. Yeah. First, the fucking typical BYND move. Yeah. From the last month, fucking slow. What would that mean? This here is our middle A. So we would go up here around $1-ish, pullback, would go up to B, which would be a 150, pullback, would go up even higher, and would do our macro B. This macro B would be around $5-ish. Then we would do the pullback, and then we would go to our middle C, which is our macro A, our main target for July and August. And this macro A, the target is from $15 to $44 because macro A has to be over T, but under M. Yeah? So that would be the slow version. But normally, if we look at the landmarks for BYND, you see here October. This was our peak to the higher low. We just made the V higher low, ran up 1,600% in a few days. Also the T here, you did your higher low and ran up. Without A, B, and blah, 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 blah. Only the M was a little bit slower. But also here, the lower high was also V, higher low, fucking run. And we never saw how the A and B looked like, but we see, I would say the last half of the C run was also quite quick. Yeah? So, because even with these landmarks, which are always squeeze landmarks, I would say that our peak target is July, August. Still. Yeah. What would that mean? Well, in that way, we would really start doing this little bullshit down here. Every fucking single little A, every fucking single little B, every fucking micro higher low. Till the day where it's supposed to hit the target, July, August, and then you will just see one candle. Yeah. I would lean to this because it always did that. Yeah. For the question, okay, so you're saying there's no possibility with doing a real squeeze, just up to C. Yeah. First of all, if we're looking from here right now, up to $25. This is a 3,000% move. That is a real squeeze. Okay. But I'm not ruling out that we also can do this. Yeah, I don't. I just wouldn't bet on it. Possible? Yes. Why not? In the moment, let's say in the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're suddenly doing the squeeze. Yeah. If you break 44, yeah, we can do something like that. If we were checked somewhere 40, I would be careful. No financial advice, but I would be careful. And to make that also absolutely clear, you can look at that yourself. Yeah. The run to this A landmark should be quick when it's finally starting. Yeah. But the pullback, which would be most likely a breakout retest of this main trend line, this will take months, in my opinion. Why? Just look the pullback of every single macro landmark of BYND. Yeah, the first one from lower high to low of M, 500 days. From M to low, 450 days. From T to this low, 574 days. From the higher low to the low of higher low, 169 days. Yeah. So this pullback here from our next squeeze will take no financial advice, but for me at least a year. Yeah. And also, which is important, like a normal squeeze is doing, you will run up. And then you will, when you reach your target, instantly knife. You see that in every landmark, which is also a normal squeeze landmark. And then you will slowly grinding down. Yeah. But if you're waiting too long, you will lose a lot of profit. If you're not, you can do whatever you want. But if you wait up here too long and it was a peak, not good. But otherwise, it still looks good. Just because of the levels, I have to be bearish for the conclusion. But everything over 84, and my conclusion is bullish. Yeah. Okay, good. Next one is open. And to make that absolutely clear, open is for me the perfect example that sometimes it doesn't matter how perfect you track, how accurate you track, sometimes you have no chance. Sometimes the fractal will tell you, fuck you. This time, no. And I will show you that. Because otherwise, open is a wonderful fractal. Easy. Except B. Yeah, but we come to that in a second. So we have our all-time high. C. Lower high, midpoint. T. Down to our V, our all-time low. Okay. Then we bounce. Ran up near T, which was our A. We did a breakout retest. A perfect breakout retest of this main trend line. Also a 0.5 pullback. Also, it was a quite quick pullback, which took us 11 days. We bounced here. Fucking ran up quick. Near our M landmark. So, perfect B. Yeah. And then, open said, now I will fuck you. Why? You have to imagine just a little thing. Yeah. Just a little thing. This is not here yet. And we are sitting here. Yeah. With our rules, it's quite easy. We know this was a peak. This was a C. So this was our next lower high. The lower high stopped here. We went up again. Perfect. Came near the trend line. This was our M. We fall back. M finished here. We bounced. Perfect. This was our T. We fall, we knife down. It's a brutal knife. And it's an instant V. And we know B normally is pulling back a 0.5 pullback from our ELO. We came close. Perfect. So, and also this was 56 days. Perfect. It's a little bit longer than the A pullback, but that's fine because B can be bigger than A. Perfect. Go long. B squoze. Perfect. And then we did this. This was the moment. In that moment here, you had no chance. No chance. That's why I introduced that how good, however, how perfect it looks, you have to have an order. Because this was just M. It started here. It finished here. And this is just T. We will talk about that in a second. And since then, you have to, again, the A pullback took 10 days. The B pullback, it doesn't matter if it's finished already or not, took us 290 days. Because Open just said, fuck you. Yeah. Okay. So how it looks like right now. I have two versions. First version is the no, we are not finished yet. Yeah. Your T started here. And if we micro track this T, I'm really losing my voice. This is your top, this is your midpoint, and this peak, right, what we did in the last days was just T. In that case, you have to go lower than this. Yeah, I would imagine something around, no financial advice, $4 to $3.80. This would be our V, higher low, and then we can go. Yeah. For levels, to the downside, I think confirmation is easy, 453. If you go lower than this, you're already going down. If you go over 563, this version is dead and you go up. Yeah. But for this, you have to bounce here. The only way to mark this bullish is, and here that's why I'm really more tending to the bearish version, because nothing is changing. This is still your C, this is still your M midpoint. But the midpoint started here. And now tell me where we put T. That's the only problem. Because your M finished here. So we have to put the T in here. You have so a big, massive midpoint, but a tiny T. I really have to say I maybe saw this once. Yeah. And that was GME. Because in that case, you can just say there's no T. Yeah. Because it's not this little shitty thing. In that case, there's just no T. In that case, this is your higher low. And you go. Yeah. Confirmation for this is anything over 562. And the same levels. You're not allowed to break 453, in my opinion. If we're going up, what is our next target? Well, that's pretty easy. Then our B landmark would be finished, and we're only looking for our C landmark. The C landmark has to be over B. So at least, no financial advice, we have to go over $11. And then it's only the question, are we doing a lower high or a new all-time high? I would still say, I mean, if you're doing that, yeah, I will also buy a position. I don't have right now one, but I would scale out of my position in this section here, yeah, because there's no way to say how high it can go, but at least over 11 in my opinion, yeah. But again, BYND is a very good example of why I am showing you alternatives. Not because he's only showing that, so he's always right. Yeah, no, that's not the reason. The reason is because of these of stocks like Open, for example. You have to have your breaking levels. If you go over them or under them, the tracking, there has to be an alternative. There has to be. There will never be, or a few times where you can be 100% or pretty close to that. But also this, as I showed you, this was perfect and still open fucked us. Yeah, that's the reason for alternatives. Yeah, 100% confidence and ego in the stock market will kill you. If not the first time, if not the 5th time, there will be a time it will fuck you. That's why you have to have alternatives. Good, then let's do a little tiny update to FFAI. Really a tiny one. If you want the bigger one, watch the roadmap video or the video before that. There is not much to say. Otherwise, that this here is still our macro high low, yeah, from April till today. After that comes the squeeze, yeah, or hopefully, yeah. We did a new low on, what is this, on last Friday, but that's okay as long as we're not breaking 20 cents, which is death. Yeah, breaking 20 cents is death. But just look, this could be already the micro high low to the big high low. Direction should be upside. Yeah. For breaking levels, anything over 37 would be already bullish. Confirmation is anything over 45. But again, I see a big possibility we don't see that. Yeah, that we are already in the run. Yeah, and again, 20 cents is bad. Is really bad. Also here for the comparison to AMC and GME, just saying in the IPO, it's close with AMC and GME. Here's January 8 to January 2021. This was AMC and GME squeeze. So maybe. Yeah. Let's look at May 2024 quick. Did we do something back? Okay. Yeah. Also in May, FFAI ran with AMC and GME. So, you know, this is something. If you have more than one, yeah, you could say, yeah, it could run with memes. So in that case, also FFAI could be close to be finished. So it would be another plus point. Maybe. Okay. One last thing, because someone wanted to look at STIM. So for STIM, 2 versions. Yep. One bullish one, one bearish one. I mean, it's a medical company, I think. Yeah, medical technology, whatever. It has 24 million float. It's quite tiny, but okay. Tracking is quite easy. We have our all-time high. We have our midpoint. For the bullish version, here, March 28, 2024, this was our T. And this was a massive higher low. We went V&A, we went under the 786. Perfect. In that case, you have to go up from here. Confirmation would be already over 246. That would be already bullish. Absolutely confirmation would be over 435. Yeah. And what would happen then? Well, we never saw A and B. So I would say you would go up, reject somewhere under 22. This would be your A, breakout retest. Then your next target is over 22 for B, pullback. And then the only question is you making all-time high or not. Yeah. If you look at the previous run-ups, you quite always did your A pullbacks, but no B pullbacks. Yeah. So the A pullback, yes. If you get the B pullback, only time will tell. The alternative to this is, because you see that here, you have a massive M, quite a tiny T, and except BYND, yeah, and GME, it's not normal that the higher low is going over T. That's not normal. Yeah. So for the bearish alternative, this was just T. Which also makes sense because then you have a big M and most likely you will get a big T. Yeah. In that case, you will fall down from here. Confirmation, first confirmation, in my opinion, would be already $1.12. Absolutely confirmation would be 80 cents. In that case, you would have your C, your lower high. Most likely this would be just M. You will come lower, come up, T, and then you will find your new all-time low. Then higher low and blah, blah. Yeah. To what I'm tending for conclusion, I would really have to say I would tend to the bearish version because this would be just such a tiny T. Yeah. But I would say I would just wait for price confirmation. Yeah. If we, I will set even an alert here because it can look interesting. Yeah. Everything over $2.46, okay, I would get bullish. But again, also everything under 112, I would be careful. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. It's not so, looks not so bad, but there's just no confirmation yet. And you have good runs, so if it's bullish, you always get violent runs. So yeah. Okay. I hope I didn't forget anything. No. Okay. As always, explanation video, tutorial here, playlist here, the big roadmap video back here. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. Next video will be Saturday or Sunday. I would think more like Sunday. And yeah, I put this video a little bit earlier because Friday is closed. Of course. Yeah. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Yeah.